What's going on, all you male cheerleaders? Your two favorite gymnastic coaches are back tonight. Logan's fighting off some Yellowjackets, I believe, in the form of, oh, well, those girls behind you, those wild cannibals. We're talking about the second season of Yellowjackets that has just aired its finale. We're going to wrap up the whole second season of Yellowjackets.
Find a way to stay alive. You're a murderer.
No. I mean, yes.
We hear the wilderness and it hears us. We hear the wilderness and it hears us. I think shit's gonna get a lot worse out here.
I'm just a girl.
Oh, that's right. These Wild Boys are back. One of the most talked about shows on Showtime. Not that there's many shows on there anymore, but this is one that people have been talking about. Had quite the following the past few years. And season 2 returning this year, seeing the adult versions of the characters behind me, and then obviously them back in the woods. And they all become sort of cannibals and survive and somehow make it back to tell the story about it.
A lot of mystery and intrigue along the way. Reminds us a lot of Lost. Obviously, other shows that have taken place in the wilderness. A lot of different themes going on here, and pretty interesting how it cuts back and forth between the teenage versions and the grown-up versions. And in the second season, it really focuses in on Lottie, the character that we saw in the first season that we assumed was kind of the leader of that whole cannibal, what was going down in the woods last year and all that craziness that ensued. We find Lottie, she has her own kind of commune. She's kind of like a cult leader out there. And we see, Christina Ricci's character. We get introduced to the older grown-up Van for the first time as Tessa's character goes and finds her. Her character is pretty interesting. She's much like her character and Can't Hardly Wait. She's stuck in the 90s still. She works at like an old home video rental place. A lot of 90s nostalgia coming through there. She's listening to 90s music in her little shop, rewinding cassettes. She, rents them out and stuff. And we're finding Van, and, she's another survivor that we catch up on. And it's played Lauren Ambrose. That's right. She's back playing the adult Van, runs into Tessa. And as we know, from them as teenage versions, they kind of had a love story there on the island. So they have a deep connection. And it's kind of in the second season, it's kind of like them all as adults trying to figure out what's happening now. And as the mystery goes on, there's murder and deception. And they have to find out, they have to all meet and go find Lottie to find out, was she behind all the madness that's going on in present day? Is it carrying over from what happened in the woods all those years back?
Yeah, and that's pretty much the setup of that is really bringing Lottie into the picture as an adult. She's like a cult leader. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
Natalie, played by Juliette Lewis, makes her way to Lottie, and stuff happens with her, and they all meet up towards the end, with Lottie's character, which is pretty interesting, and trying to understand, if it's a person behind this or it's still some sort of supernatural presence that, you're still trying to figure that out. It was pretty great. But Natalie had a bigger part in this season. I felt like Juliette Lewis, which I appreciate. I love her. Yes. Misty as well. There was an introduction of Misty's boyfriend, played by Elijah Wood, showing up in this as like a sort of detective character that helps her along the way without giving away too much. But he was really great in this role. And a big part also this season was Shauna murdering a guy, and the cops are onto her trying to investigate her and figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, that was interesting how that all came back into play. Her and her husband, Jeff, trying to, Jeff looks just like his name. He looks like a Jeff, but they're trying to cover their tracks. And, with these cops onto them, there's this young cop or detective that's kind of onto them. And he works his way into the bar that her daughter's at. Shauna's daughter, and strikes up a relationship and starts getting information from her, and it leads to them finding Shauna, and finally they're about to tie them to the murder, and that's what kind of leads into the finale. We won't spoil anything there, but it all kind of leads into the final episode with that whole storyline from what happened in season 1 with that murder going into this and tying into this world. But some really interesting things back in the old days, back when they crashed in the woods. More things are, revealed this season. More cannibalism happens. We found young Shauna, keeping the frozen body of Jackie in like an old, the airplane, the shell of the airplane, basically. She's still talking to Jackie. She's obviously had so much trauma here and then losing her best friend. But she's still talking to a dead body there. And at one point, the ear falls off and she's got Jackie's ear. Some more weird stuff goes down in the woods. And we also find out that, Misty's pretty villainous. She killed somebody in this. One of the other teammates that she ended up pushing off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are some bad kids here that some heavy trauma. I don't blame them, everything they went through.
Yeah.
Maybe not turning into cannibals, but
Right.
survival
Yeah,
and what they go through, but they're all starting to lose their shit. But you're not sure if it's something in the wilderness that's really kind of controlling them and Lottie. But they dive into that a little more. But not all questions were, answered in this season. But it was definitely a pretty solid season all across the board. I thought the last 3 or 4 episodes were probably the best.
Yeah.
Started picking up the momentum. It was getting a little boring there towards the middle, not much going on, but it really picked up towards the end of the season, and really surprising death too in the very final episode. I didn't see coming. So they're setting that up for hopefully another season 3 Yellowjackets. And if they do, we'll be watching it. So that being said, I'm going to give season 2 of Yellowjackets, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Christina Ricci hair pieces.
Yes, season 3, it's going to be a long way. They had just started one day in the writer's room, I read, before the writer's strike. Go figure. Yeah. So it'll probably be a few years. Go figure. But like you mentioned, it got stronger as the season went on. The first half, really slow burn, but it picked up, a little over the halfway point, and those last batch episodes were really fun, really exciting. And yeah, that last death was very shocking. We'll see how that plays into the rest of the show. There's still a lot of mysteries that need to be answered here, and let's hope that we don't have to wait forever for them to be solved. And hopefully this isn't another story of a show that just, took too much time in between the seasons and people lose interest. With that being said, I'm going to give season 2 of Yellowjackets a 4 out of 5 Juliette Lewis hair pieces.
So we want to hear from all you fine young cannibals out there. What did you like about the second season of Yellowjackets? What didn't you like about it? What do you think is going to happen in the upcoming season, season 3? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild cannibals on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
It's time to get back to the dinner table. I'm serving a fresh liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Nice fork technique over there, Hannibal.
Thank you guys for watching our review of season 2 of Yellowjackets. Until the next time, I'm Uncle Henry Van.
And I'm Uncle Logan Ricci signing out until the next TV review.
Cheers!